Alright, so when we left off, we had a train go around the track. The bogies will adjust to the track. Problem is, this is not a very realistic track. This is probably as fast as you could go on a real track. So, let's start there. I'm gonna make these curves a little more realistic. And then I'll be back. And we're back. I made the track a little larger. The corners are still too tight for actual train, but it's okay. I needed it straight, and I got a couple of them now. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to make multiple types of cars and how simple it is because we designed it in a way to do that. And then I'll show you how to hook up to other cars and drag them along for the ride. Let's begin. First, we're going to need some kind of other body. So let's just go to our spawn here. And add a child node. We need a mesh instance. I've already used that before. I'm going to call that flatbed. Because it's going to be super simple to make. And we can zoom in on that. And we'll just come up here to mesh and new box. What is it? Cube. I always get cube and box mixed up. Cube mesh. Okay. And on the transform, it's kind of sideways. But anyway, zero all this out. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And its Z scale going to be, the locomotive was 5. I'm just going to do longer, 6. Just to show you that the size won't matter. I mean, make cars however big you want. Height will be 0.1. And that should do it. Now this is kind of large for a, like that 0.9. The problem is this is too tall, too high up. You don't want this to be floating above the bogies, so we're going to change this to -1. Is that good? That's a little too far. So -0.8. Too high. -0.9. Good enough. Alright. And I'm just going to give it a material. Here. New spatial. Same thing. Click the material. Change the albedo. Make it red. Why not? The problem is when we spawn, it's going to spawn here. So we need a container for this to fit in. So let's make one. Let's go to spawn again. Right click. Add child node. Do another mesh instance. And call this whatever you want. Offset. Let's call it a holder. No, because this is going to be the name of the body. No, it's fine. This is fine. Okay. And then just simply drag this onto this. Now, see it spawns here, but the body's here. Again with the illusions, love it. Alright. But we don't want this to spawn on our engine. We want it to spawn on its own deal. So what we're going to do now, right click here and save as scene. And we're going to call it flatbed. I can't really see that, but I'm assuming it says flatbed. Okay, so now it's an actual body that we can slap on a train. We can now delete it. Yes. So what we're going to do from here, we can do this one of two ways. If your bogey scene has a script on it, it's already got all the necessary components, you can drag it up here, the child of track, or you can just simply copy this, Control D. But we're gonna go roll with this. I'm gonna call this car flatbed. Now if you come over here to the right, you'll see we need our bogey and bogey trail. So, or body I mean. So here's the bogey trail, can drag that in. And the body is going to be our new flatbed. Drag that in. And now we're gonna have to change its offset to something else, 0. So it doesn't spawn on top of here. And let's see what that does if we just hit play. F5. You'll see we do have a flatbed car. But this one's way too far, and this one, yeah, it might be right. So we gotta fix this. Why is this one so far? So my problem was this right here. This bug or glitch or whatever is stretched, so it's stretching the bogey distance. If you don't have that problem, I think it's because I deleted the first point and now it doesn't know what to do with it. I don't know. You can make a new track. I'm just going to leave this because it's only going to glitch in this area. But yeah, yours should have been fine. And I'll show you just by moving it further along the track. By changing this offset to, I made it 50. And this one to 40. You know, change those and it behaves itself. So you can see that even though you have a ridiculously cartoonishly large car here, it'll still line it up, adjust itself. So you really can just do whatever you want. Problem is, I'm pretty sure if we hit W here, they'll both go. Or not. Huh, maybe not. Okay. W, I'm pretty sure if you hit up, they'll both go. They're not too happy about it, but they go. And if this is the level in your game, like, that's fine. You can offset them like this manually. And you can just keep adding cars the way we just did. Make as long a train as you want. The jittery camera is because it's hooked to this bogey right here. Or this one, or this. Yeah, it's the body. Hooked to the body. So just forgive that, but you can see you can just add as many cars, short, long, and it'll behave itself. And that's the glitched area. Hopefully you don't have that problem. I'll remake the path if I have to. But for now, pretty cool, huh? But anyway, we don't want them both to be controlled like that. We want these cars to be dependent on the engine. So how do we do that? Well, by the way, this will be in the description, because that last tutorial was rough. Anybody who's just like, I give up, this will be down there. Just copy paste, good to go. So how do we do that? Well, first thing I'm going to do is come down here to output, click on that, and then I'm going to make this bigger because I cannot see. Alright, shrink this stuff over. I think it's already over. Yeah. Alright, good enough. Separate this, and while we're here, we no longer want the player to control all the cars. So the simplest way to rectify that by saying variable is engine, and that's false. Okay? Now you can say if is engine. You can say equals true, but you don't have to, because just this is alone. If it's true, then that is a true statement. Okay? And then of course we have to have these in one. So if it's the engine, then it will let you control the speed. And we're not going to be able to set that, are we? No, we've got to export it. So export it. Export variable. Okay, save that. Now if you come here, click your car, is engine is false. Engine is true. Just that alone, if we F5 to play, press up, you can see that we're leaving the other car behind. Okay, that's step one. That's good progress. Now I want to hook up to that other car. And we're not using physics, so there's really no way to collide with it, but there is. We're going to use something called an area. And let's set that up by going to our flatbed scene here. And 3D. So on the main holder or container or whatever you named the object here, add a child node, search for an area. Okay. And then you'll get a warning here that it needs a collision shape or polygon. Okay. So we can add that, but I want you to add it here. Click on the flatbed, right click, add child node. We need a collision shape. Okay. And then it's going to say it needs a shape, so come over here, and do a box shape. And because we put it under our flatbed, it gives us the exact shape we need, and then all you gotta do, drag that shape to the area. Boom, that part's done. Now we need to know if it hits something. And to do that, come to the, highlight your area, come up here to the inspector, and to the right there's nodes. You see it has signals it can emit. One of those is area entered area. Okay? So we're going to put an area on every car. So we need that signal. We're going to attach it to, oh, we don't have a script. Well, now we know our next step. So hold off on that for now. Come to the holder. We're going to create a new script. And what are we going to call this? We're going to call this car. Really, the engine should have been called car. Good enough. Car. Create. All this really needs to know is when this area entered and connect it to that new script. You'll see down here on area entered area. That's really all we need. For now, anyway. And just to test things out here, I'm going to say if area, because it gives you an area that it hits, enters. If that area dot name is equal to, I'm gonna call it the locomotive area or engine area. If it equals that, then just print hey, you hit me or something. Or even better, we can put area dot name. How do we do that in Godot here? Close this one off. Put a space. And then a comma. Comma. And then another space. And this should say, hey, that area name, locomotive area, hit me. I mean, really, this can fire whenever, though, so I'm just going to move it real quick here. Just to make sure it works at all. Okay, and then for now, we'll just pass that. Okay. Let's test it. Should print if it, oh, wait, we don't have a locomotive area. So, come down to our locomotive scene and do the same thing. Area. Add the collision shape. To your locomotive. And then drag it down here. No signals needed on this, but whatever you name this, your area, whatever you name that, has to be the same as this. If area name equals, it has to be typed just like this. Okay? For this to work. But for now, let's test that and see if it works. If we go up, forward, and then we go down, Go back. Well, it's really not having a good time, is it? There we go. Oh, we don't have it down. Man, I am prepared. Okay. So, back to our world, to our engine. Let's add the reverse of this. So, Control C, Control V, and minus equal. Change this to down. And do it again. Now we'll go forward, go down, back into it. It should let us know. I see hay down here. Locomotive area hit me. Okay? You can't do this in real life. So, we need to know the engine. You can do this so many ways. The easiest way is like a third-party script without going to crazy finding nodes and. Do we want to do it like that? Let's do it like that. We're gonna make a world script here. Create a script. World is fine. And it wants to know when the variable engine collided. Okay, equals false. You can do this on the other script, but I don't know. I feel like this will be useful for us anyway. Engine collided is false. Now we can use that to come to our, save that, come back to our here, and if you hit the locomotive area, we need a reference to that script. So let's say variable world or game manager or main, whatever you want to call it, world script. I'm just going to call it world. And that's going to be equal to get tree, the root of the tree, and then dot get child 0. So the child of the root, the first thing in the scene is the world. Okay, once we have that, we can say world dot engine collided equals through. And that should be right. It's not going to populate, but we know what it is. Engine collided. Okay, it's going to be true. It should access it. And then if, where is it at? In the engine. I'm going to add it here. If and you can do not world. Oh, we gotta add that same reference here. Go back to our script. Just grab this whole line, copy, paste. This probably should be on ready. Anytime you're trying to get a node or something, make sure it's ready. On ready var world, yeah. Okay. Now we can say do this up here. If world.engine collided equals true. Well, we don't have to do that. Equals true. Then speed equals 0. Okay. Let's try that. You are mad about something. You'd rather get index engine. Well, you gotta be able to spell. That's one thing. Oh my. Okay. Engine collided. Speed is 0. Now it works. We can artificially collide. But it will forever lock us in. So what if we, in addition to speed equals 0, add world.engine collided equals true. Or false. Now it's just going to let us go through, I believe. Yeah. Well, that's okay. This is actually okay. Because we'll be coupled at that point. It's just not in the code yet. Okay. Yeah. So if you collide, we want to couple. Couple to car, or just couple. Couple works. Couple. And I'm actually going to put these inside of couple. So Control X. And let's make that function. Down here. Function. Couple. When we couple, Control V, the speed is going to be 0. Let's tell it that it's coupled. Is coupled equals true. We don't have that yet. Let's do that. Bar is coupled equals false. Okay. So when you couple, I'm going to tell it it's coupled, and then this sounds right to me. Okay. So when you're coupled, or even when you're making the car, we can do both. Why not? When it's ready, after you set up your car, we want to line up car. If coupled. Okay, or symbol a train. So let's just say line up car. Oops, and now we gotta make that function. You can copy paste, Control C, come down here. Line up car, func. And when you line up a car, the offset of this car Getting ahead of myself here. Put pass for now. Because we're not going to know. There's a couple things we need before we can do this. It needs to know what to follow. Well, we already created our world script. Let's go to the world script. And here we can create a variable called bogies. That's going to be a list or an array. It'll be all bogies on the track. Alright. Using that, now we know what to follow. Save that, go back to our engine. Down here, we can do something like our offset equals bogies. We're going to need a way to pick a certain one. We can fix that too. Scroll on up here. And we'll throw this in here. Variable ID. Okay, it's going to equal 0. Now, when they're created, I mean, guess right away. So, determine ID. Okay. And we're just going to set ID to world dot bogies dot size. I think is arrays size. So it's going to come in, spawn into the world, and say there's nothing in here, so 0. And then it'll go to the next one. It'll say there's 1 in here. My ID is 1, and it should keep going. Actually, his ID will be 3 because if you remember, this one spawns a second bogey. We'll take up 2, then 3. Should increment like that, which is the goal. Okay, so now we can come back down and say bogies ID minus 1 because it wants the trailing bogey of the car in front of it. Okay, and we want the offset minus and whatever value you want to set. So we're just going to do 3.5. You probably have to play with that. Oh, we can't say bogies. It's world. Dot bogies. Okay, so that just grabs the bogey in front of it basically and just scoots it back a little bit. This is what we want. And then up here, the engine, you can control it. And we're going to say if, otherwise, if it is coupled, then line up car. Okay, that's just simply going to follow the car. Now, something else I want to do is when we couple to another car, I want it to seem like you're pulling a bunch of weight, you know? So we're going to decrease the power world by world.bogies.size divided by 2 because there's every 2 bogies makes a car. By the number of cars, we're going to decrease it by 0.001, something crazy small. times. Okay? And this will simulate weight of cars. Just kind of random numbers. Now when you hook up to a car, it should be heavier. And you'll move slower, which is what you expect. I think that's all we need, except I don't know, let's test it. I'm not happy about something here. Invalid get index -1. Oh. So I need coupled to be exportable variable too. Right here. When we set down our stuff on our map, when we make our levels, we want to determine what's coupled and what's not. But even so, this is going to be not coupled. We need to do this here. So, if is coupled. And since this is all one line, you can just do this. If it's coupled, offset. Now we can get rid of. Not sure how to word that. We just line up the car because it'll do it by itself. Yeah, if they're coupled, line up the cars. Okay. I know why. We're not adding anything to the array. Those of you sitting there like, we never added anything to array. You are awesome. So, when we come into the world, after we set our ID, add ourselves to the list of bogies. So we're going to say world.bogies.append. So we're adding to the list. We're going to add ourselves. Okay, now this should take care of that. Let's go forward, let's go back and see if it hooks up. Nice. Unready variable car variable my car parent whatever, my car equals get node get parent. And that's going to take us to look at one of these. It's going to take us to this, which is a child of the spawn. You can do .get parent. I want to try this. This is kind of crazy, but get parent. My car. Stop. Try that. Now the spacing is off, but it should work. Alright, let's change that spacing a little bit. We don't need this anymore. We know we got the right parent. Save that. Let's go to engine and just change the spacing. Minus 9 seems to be nice. Try it. And we're back into it. We should stop. We'll adjust the car. And it should tag along. No? Yes? Yes? Yes. Cool. And now that's how you hook onto another car. But does it actually work? Let's try another car. Just for now, let's make another car. Go to our 3D world. Take this flatbed and make another one. Or even 2 more flatbeds. And make these flatbeds coupled. This one's coupled. This one's coupled. This one is not. Okay? And what we should see is this should automatically line up. And the spacing is off. But I'm less interested in that right now and interested in do they all follow. Let's go. Cool. They all follow the track. They do. It's just a matter of spacing now. What if we wanted to uncouple? That's the glitch, don't worry about that. Just for testing here. If input.is action, just press. We'll do UI except that's return, I believe. Uncouple. Just to try it. I haven't done any of this like pre-planned or anything. So here. Funk. Uncouple. And then check its ID if ID is equal to 1, 3. The third bogey, which would be the first car after the locomotive, then is coupled equals false. And also we haven't simulated any kind of drag or anything yet, so we're just going to set their speed to 0. Okay, let's see if we can just ditch them. So we're going to hook up, get them going, and leave them behind after we round this corner. Enter. Oh, it's not counting the second bogeys. So you could just say which car it is. Oops, forgot to attach them. Boom. Let's go. It's a lot slower to move. And then whenever we want to let them go, we just hit enter. And take off without them. And that is today's video. Hopefully that gets you guys going, excited, yay. Hopefully this tutorial was a lot better. I tried a different way, and yeah, let me know. Have a good one.